Hello, I'm here with my friend Cheryl Williams, and we were a few days ago in a protest called Justice for Joyce, which is a protest against anti racism. There seems to be a lot of racism still here in Quebec, and well, not only in Quebec, in all North America. But anyway, it was Cheryl who invited me to that protest, and I was so happy to be here. So, first of all, Cheryl, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me again.
So, Cheryl, you have invited me to a few protests already, and it's you who's bringing this awareness to me that somehow we can influence society to our protests. So, can you tell us why you think we can change society to protesting?
Well, that's interesting that that is your take on why I protest and why I'm inviting you. To be very honest, I feel infuriated or outraged, or I I'm pretty cynical about the way society um, treats its people sometimes, and we can post on social media. There's many actions that we can take, but I think doing nothing just can eat away at a person. I'm not entirely convinced that change can be made from protests alone, but I think for me personally, it helps me, yeah, live in society if I'm taking some kind of action. And people organize protests. It's one of the easiest things to do is to say that I stand behind the principle of this protest, and it's just me adding my tiny voice to this chorus.
So, you are seeing injustice, and for you, the pain of staying home and maybe looking at your Facebook or doing nothing is bigger than the pain of putting your shoes on and going out there and making your voice count.
Yeah, often I think we get frustrated because we feel helpless. Like, what can we do? What can be done? These problems seem bigger than all of us. So I think any kind of act that we can do to show solidarity with those who are victimized or mistreated, it yeah, it gives me some sense of satisfaction, like I've made some attempt to make a better world.
But this protest that we went to is nothing new for you. You have been going to other protests before. Can you tell us about some of the other protests where you have participated and what do they stand against or for?
Yeah, well, we went to the Black Lives Matter earlier this summer. Of course, people all around the world have been aware of the racism in the States, here in Canada, and I'm sure pretty much everywhere. But, shocking videos like that we saw of George Floyd in the States really struck a chord.
Right.
Obviously, it was just so blatant, and it's not new. We know about these issues, but when it's staring you in the face like that, we really just have to participate. We have to do something. So we did Black Lives Matter. Of course, we got swept along in the wave of the climate change
Yes, with Greta.
when Greta came last year.
Right.
And I've also, like, one of my pet causes is the poor treatment of animals. I'm really against that because they are voiceless, completely voiceless.
What do you mean by the poor treatment of animals? So uh, we shouldn't
Well,
mistreat them
animals, and
before eating them?
I don't think animals are food. I don't think animals are shoes. I don't think animals are clothes. I don't think they should be poked and prodded so that we can wear makeup. I mean, all these things are ridiculous. They are thinking, emotional, sentient creatures, and none of these things are necessary. There's food. There's all kinds of food that we can eat, and it's very arguably even better for us not to be eating animals. There's all kinds of materials we could be making our clothes from. We don't need to steal the skin of another being in order to clothe ourselves. So, yeah, I participate in activities that speak out against the exploitation of animals.
So the idea is that little by little, your voice and mine and that of thousands of other people, it will be loud enough for governments or society to change their point of view and either reduce racism, reduce the torture against animals, do something for the or to prevent the climate change. Is that the idea overall?
Yeah, I think so, because I think governments, like people, we're resistant to change.
Right.
And we're interested in our own survival.
Right.
So a government who wants to be elected again, if they see enough people speaking out for a particular cause, then they're going to wake up and they're going to follow along with that cause. So it's got to come from the people. If nobody's showing interest in equality for humanity, politicians can lose interest in that. That can get lost in the shuffle of, economy or many other things, and the aspect of being humane, it gets lost.
And well, it does give results because at one time slavery was legal, and well, to protest and awareness, it is illegal now. At one time, women were not allowed to vote, and to protest, now you are allowed to vote.
Yes, yeah.
And your vote counts just as much as the vote of any man. By the way, elections in the U.S. is coming up soon, so don't forget to vote.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any more to ask you. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, I just want to add something like, you're bringing up this, the getting the right to vote or slavery and things like that. So yes, there were protests or whatever, but there were also people making huge sacrifices. Like there were people in all those causes that were giving their life to the cause.
Right.
So something just to be aware of, I think, when we go and we march and we protest, is just to be aware that, I think there's a tendency to okay, I went and marched for Black Lives Matters and I can pat myself on the back, but, I think it's important to not just, okay, I did my thing, I spent a couple of hours on this day and that's done, I did my part. It's really not enough, in my opinion. I don't have the answers of what is enough, but...
At the very least, to vote.
Yes, yeah, that could be. But I think it's easy to be outraged and to make an angry post on social media, or to be outraged and march, and then to feel, oh, I'm good, I did my part.
I feel like you're pointing a finger at me.
Oh!
That's exactly what I done. I had gone, I marched, and I felt, well, I did my thing. So thank you very much.
Yeah. So I think there's a little danger there that these are struggles that for some people and for some animals is a real life, day in, day out struggle. And in our seat of privilege, it's, it can be easy to congratulate ourselves and feel like we're good people. But there are people that are dying. There are people that are dying every day because of the rest of us just overlooking what seems like really small infractions that really pack a lot of punch. So get out there, protest, post, do your stuff.
Be aware.
But know that this is just the least we can do. Really, the least we can do.
Being silent has deadly consequences.
There you go. Yeah.
Cheryl, thank you. Let's do an elbow bump because it's the time of the COVID.
Yeah.
So
very good.
thank you for your time.
My pleasure.